When you point your 4B towards the hills of southeast Queensland, there's one thing you can guarantee. You're in for one heck of an adventure.
I've just seen everything.
Right now, we're fighting it out with the toughest tracks of the Imbil-Kenilworth region. And right on cue, things are getting loose.
What is happening?
And just as we thought things were heating up, the situation is about to get a whole lot worse.
Please start, please start.
And one rig is never going to be the same again.
You guys right?
How on earth did that happen?
Our journey begins in the hills behind the little town of Kenilworth as we point the rigs towards a day of flat-out tough wheeling.
Shorto, copy up there, mate.
I sure do, mate.
Now, I don't want you to take this the wrong way nor think of it in the wrong manner, but it's not often you get to say to your mate, I'm loving the look of your rear end.
Yeah, mate. It's not too bad, is it? Big 30, she's back on the tracks, mate. Pretty pumped to be here, to be honest.
As long as we can keep her on the tracks, mate. How's this place looking? Look how green it is out there.
I know. A few locals said there's been a bit of rain for the last week or so. You know what this place is like? You get a bit of moisture, mate.
Yeah, the Kenilworth Imbil region, bit of moisture and she can be off tap. Simple tracks become almost impassable, mate, but I'm keen to get stuck into it. I know the boys are frothing, they're right behind me. Let's find a spot just up here, air it down and get into it.
The tracks in this part of the world include steep rocky climbs, slippery clay hills, and plenty of sharp rocks. So I'm going for a medium tyre pressure on the D-Max of around 23 PSI. The Dirty 30 Mark II is taking on its first hard wheeling trip, and we've got a great bunch of mates along to join us for this adventure.
Probably wondering what I'm doing right here. Actually, gotta admit it, I learnt this trick off Jocko. Just take your mud flaps off. It takes you 2 seconds here because Timbo from Mitts, of course, has just got them joined on real simply. Up in there like that. 2 seconds to get them off, and then when I get back on the road later on, just whack them back on again. It means I don't run over them and knock them off. I've got some spares in there, but it just makes it nice and easy. Get them off. So thank you, Jocko. You finally taught me something.
You might remember that on our last trip, Sammy borrowed the keys to Pete from Ultimate Nines GU. Now, Sammy's not with us for this trip, and Pete is stuck on the other side of a closed border. But the camera crew couldn't resist the chance to have an extra vehicle to work out of, and have called dibs on this capable rig.
Our plan for the day is to head towards a challenging clay run out the back of Kenilworth, taking in a stack of tough climbs along the way. Let me tell you, at this point, we have no idea what a dramatic turn this day is going to take.
Well, it's been a little while since I've actually driven the 30 in some like hard, low range sort of stuff. The last time I drove it was actually in the Kimberley, when I was driving it on some, it was sort of hard tracks, but it was more remote than tough. And here in southeast Queensland, we've got big steep hills and all the rest of it. And I've just noticed something, hopefully it's just a one-off thing, but it did go into limp mode before, and I turned it off and then turned it back on again, and we're good to go. So hopefully that's not a sign of things to come, that's just a little hiccup. But so far, this thing impresses the heck out of me. It's like a little mountain goat.
Ruben's wheeling his usual weapon of choice for hard four-wheel driving, a twin-locked cruiser fitted with a DMW new alloy canopy. Jeremy also joins us from Direction Plus, and even though he's only got a rear LSD in his rig, I reckon he'll be pretty competitive on those tracks. Bryce also joins us in the Fulcrum suspension rig, and it looks like he's having a blast already.
Holy heck!
With that little introduction to the tracks, it's time to head to our main challenge of the day, where we're going to be swapping out the rocks for some slippery clay further into the bush. Soon enough, we're up on the start of the track in question. Hidden in the deep undergrowth, this section of track never truly dries out. and underneath that top layer is a bedrock of clay that offers about as much traction as a skating rink.
Wow.
Mate, last time we were here,
Yeah.
was it dead of night?
It was night time. It looked, I just remember after the first car went up, it got really slippery and really greasy.
Yeah, I think that could be the case. And there's heaps of water still on here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this too lightly in the sense that I think maybe you and I will get up here okay.
Yep.
Sucks to be anyone else though.
I'd hate to be going last in the convoy.
Oh, I wouldn't like to be going last, second last, third last, but let's get you up.
Yeah, see what happens.
If you could do us a favour and just idle up.
No.
Okay. All right, look, there's a piece of old recovery board there and we're not even on the track. That tells a story.
It does, mate. All right, I'm gonna unrip in,
Yep.
see what this is like, eh?
Give it a go, mate.
Here we go. Manual mode, second gear, and let's feed it.
Alrighty.
Slippery as.
Fully dots in the eye. Oh. I just got dots in the eye.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. This thing's an animal. 800 Newton meters at about 16 RPM. That'll do it.
Oh, got dotsed.
You've seen big tyres, big power, and big noise do it. And I got none of those, but I reckon the D-Max could still surprise us.
Look at that.
Oh!
Oh, that's the bit. That's the bit. Hey, Graham, why don't you get your sister to have a go, mate?
Get out of this car, I'm coming. Let's give it a proper go.
Nah,
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff, mate. Good drive.
I might need to have another go at this.
You might have to go right back, eh? Starting to get a bit slippery now. Yep, from there. Give it a hit.
Can't see out of one eye.
That's a ticket. That's a ticket. That's a go. That is the go.
Well, I gotta say, little D-Max made that look a lot easier than Shawnee. Full noise Shawnee Whale. Still, it's getting slippery. See how the other boys go.
Well, we've seen Sean and Graham give it a crack. Tell you that's going to be really, really slippery.
Oh, hang on! Hang on! It is getting slippery. All right, give me a shot.
Oh, here we go.
Prove it!
Come on, mate.
It's the right pedal, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
There you go. Have you got any low range, or what's going on here, mate?
it's getting remarkably slippery.
This is where it starts to turn into a good track.
Yep.
Second is the go.
Holy heck!
I feel like you're not trying hard enough, mate. Go right back, I reckon.
How did that happen? Are you getting hung up on something?
I think you just need to actually put a bit of effort in, Ruben. I don't see you committing properly, you know?
Yes!
You're kidding me! Oh, another gear! I reckon you got to go right back to the, like, almost back to the bitumen there and just get a bit of a run up.
Go back to the bakery in Kenilworth. Grab me a pie. Whoa! What was that noise?
That was a snap.
He still hasn't got this.
Just
Holy
seen
heck!
everything. I've never seen a rear tyre lift up.
I thought he was going to hit that tree.
He's gone up a hill and a rear somehow lifted.
I don't know how that happens.
I've never seen it before.
Unless you're a horse, it's difficult to do.
Kicking and bucking the whole way up.
Woohoo! Yeah, we got it.
He's made the track fun for me, doesn't he?
He's made it fun, all right. Good luck.
Ruben hasn't exactly made this climb look easy, so let's see how Jeremy fares 4 cars down in the convoy.
You just got to find that right line of giving it heaps and not breaking anything. That's the key.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Still.
Oh, he's got it, he's got it, he's got it. He's got it. The lightweight vehicles, I tell you what.
The bouncing going on.
That right there, that's a damn good drive. And as per usual, Jeremy looks calm as a cucumber.
Righto, Bryce, this is it's not getting any easier, mate, the more vehicles drive this track, but give it a red hot go. I think you got what it takes.
Righto, Shorto, let's give it a crack.
Was that a crack or what are you doing, mate?
Take two.
Get out! Get out of the car! Shake yourself, son!
That's a ticket.
There he goes. Take your glasses off. Whoa!
A lot of wheel spin, he's making it.
Done it.
Tell you what, the IFSs are really showing up the big trucks today. And once he's got a head of steam going, Bryce is up and over this one with ease.
Made it easy. That's a good drive, Bryce. Well done, mate.
Cheers, Shorto.
The camera boys are having a blast in the Ultimate 9 rig, and just like it always does, the big GU just monsters its way to the top. Up ahead, the track gets just a little bit more slippery. And once again, the big rigs are on the noise trying to make it through. With that challenge done, it's time to get up and out of this rainforest. Things have been going pretty smoothly so far, but that's all about to change.
Guys, I thought I'd just give a little bit of a reminder. It's your last opportunity. Take advantage of our huge sale, up to 25% off basically everything on Forward Drive, 247.com. Get the gear that we use at an absolute bargain price. Now, this is your last chance to take an opportunity of it. Think about getting a Mike Coolman fridge where you can save literally hundreds of bucks. I'll put a link on here so it makes it real easy for you, but jump onto that one because it's not going to last for long.
After climbing up out of the rainforest, we're soon back into rocky country and dropping back down to the start of the next challenge. But those gremlins Sean noticed this morning are back, and the bonnet is soon up on the Dirty 30.
It's a bit of an interesting one because I was just driving up a big steep bit of hill like most of the country out here, and then I started to lose power dramatically until it stalled out, and then every time I try and turn it on, it's like there's no fuel going to the motor. It feels like that. So I'm guessing there's either a big issue or the fact I'm on such a steep hill and the pickup and the tank might be quite low and it's just not pumping enough diesel up to get it going. So
Can I throw a third into the mix?
what's that?
Do you know before we started the trip, how I said, hey boys, I'm going to go and fill up?
Yeah,
And you said,
I said,
I've got plenty of fuel.
I won't need to. And I also said that my gauge, once it reaches zero, I've got about 90 litres left, and that's why I don't need to fill up.
Any chance your gauge could have reached zero, and there are no 90 litres.
Lovely chance of that. There's actually a great chance, but there's not, because I've still got quite a bit of fuel, I think.
Now, look, you've got to remember the 30 has done a lot of long-range touring, and Sean knows from experience that as the gauge touches empty, he's only halfway through his 190-litre tank. With the needle only just nearing that empty marker, it's possible there's another issue. So Sean starts by checking the fuel lines into the fuel pump. Jeremy is a diesel mechanic with a ton of experience, and he's already suspicious about Sean's claim to have heaps of fuel. But he's given us a bunch of other tests we can do to check if this issue is in the fuel pump. Soon enough, Sean reckons he's found what seems to be an air pocket in the line.
What's that mean?
If the problem is just an air pocket, it should be possible to prime the line and get fuel running through it again. Or at least that's the theory.
Come on, fuel. What we think is happening is there might be a big airlock in the fuel tank. So I haven't actually run out of diesel, but because of the airlock, it's not allowing diesel to pump up through the filter into the fuel pump. So we're just manually trying to prime the diaphragm here and try and manually pump some fuel up. And if we see fuel come out of the outlet here, we're in luck because that means we've got the fuel back up and we're right to go. But at the moment, no fuel's coming up. Just a bit of a mission to pump this FTE with a small little tiny hand pump.
Jeremy's about ready to try siphoning the fuel through himself until we remember that the 30 has onboard air and we can use the compressor to force the fuel through the system.
Air coming out.
Yep, stop.
Righto, we just got fuel coming out of the filter there. So fingers crossed, it should start now. Come on, up you go. There it goes. There it goes. Well done.
That's
well
kind
done,
of
guys.
bittersweet in a way because I'm glad he's got it going. I'm also not so glad that he hasn't run out of fuel because that was a good day. That was a good day.
All right, well, nothing to see here. We'll just keep moving on. And yeah, just if you need fuel, mate, I've probably got heaps, so just keep that in mind.
Probably should get off this slope, I reckon then. Go do something steep, eh?
Well, it seems like the problem might be fixed for now, so we keep pushing on further down the track, which is starting to get very tight and a lot steeper.
A significant little hill. It's a big clay hill that sort of just goes down into this valley and then straight back up the other side. Big wheel lift.
I reckon you're low on fuel, as.
Whoa. That sucks.
The whites of your eyes then.
Yeah.
No! Come on. Yes, go, 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 go. Jeepers, what is that? What's going on? What is happening?
Make hay while the sun shines.
Go. See ya.
A build that's as custom as this one, with parts from every generation of Land Cruiser, is always going to come with some kinks to iron out once you start tough wheeling. But I've soon realised that this particular problem is far from over.
It's not right.
Something's definitely not right. Definitely. Well, it's not ideal. We're in the middle of the bush, miles from anywhere.
Well, it's a good enough spot as any to park. Nope. I'll just put that hose back on it.
Sean's in a bit of an awkward spot halfway up a climb, so now it's rinse and repeat on our earlier solution to try and get him to the top.
Here we go, yep.
It's pretty clear at this point that whatever is going on with the 30 needs a bit of diagnosis. And with the track closing in and getting harder up ahead, we decide it might be best to turn around and limp the 30 out to camp. But it's right about now that things get complicated, and the problems, well, they just start to get worse. Sean's managed to push his way over the hill and found a tiny bit of room to turn around in the next valley. But as he heads back up the hill towards the convoy, the problem strikes again. Now, we can't keep forcing fuel through the lines every few metres, so it's on to plan B, and that's to get Ruben's rig in to tow the 30 out. But to make matters worse, there's no room to turn in front of Sean, so Ruben is going to have to turn around earlier and try to reverse to Sean's position up a gnarly climb.
Just getting Ruben turned around. This is going to be quite an effort. I can't get the Dirty 30 started. It's a fuel issue. We have established that much. So I'm on the edge of a hill. I tried to go scout ahead, and as I was coming up the hill in the worst possible spot, it stopped. I've winched up the hill a bit, but I've almost used the battery. We're gonna get Ruben to come and tow me. It's gonna be hard to reverse him up here.
You know, there are a few moments when you look back and wish you could have done things a little differently. And right now, this could be shaping up to be one of them.
Get a right hand down, right hand down, right hand down.
Right
Yep.
down.
Stop.
Yep.
Oops.
That was a scary, scary moment and demonstration of how quickly tracks like this can catch you out. What everyone missed was the passenger front wheel, which has caught a small tree stump on the bank and with the lockers in has climbed up. Almost instantly it sent the 79 series over and leaving it in a very sketchy position facing down the hill.
First thing he's going to do is secure the vehicle. He's got a rear winch, and I reckon he might be able to winch himself, maybe back over. You boys all right? Yeah. That didn't quite work out the plan, did it?
The other boys had decided to jump in the 79 rather than walk up to the 30. And right now, I'm glad I just decided to walk. Thankfully though, everyone has come away unharmed. As for the 79, well, we're not so sure.
Holy. How on earth did that happen?
You know, usually have a look at them when they're on the hoist, but today I decided to put it on a side. Just want to have a bit better of a look, not having to look up, just look straight in.
Unhinged. Unhinged. I'm going to put that down to shock. That's wow, I'm shocked.
In situations like this, there's really no manual for the recovery, and we're just going to have to problem solve it as we go. Our two main concerns though are minimising any extra damage to the vehicle and more importantly, not letting it roll down the hill if and when we get it righted. Step one is to try and get the wheel lined up with the rut on the left, and for that, Ruben's two winches are an absolute win. Step two is to get a third winch involved, and for that we're using the Ultimate 9 truck, which we're positioning on the bottom of the hill and running to the undercarriage by the way of a winch ring. We're hoping that Ruben's winches will hold the 79 in place while the third winch pulls it back over.
Just winch in, take attention. That's it, a bit more, a bit more. More. Yeah, a bit more, a bit more. Release the front.
We try a few different anchor positions, but the issue is the same. All the winches are currently working against each other, and all we're achieving is to slide the 79 back and forth on its side.
Just a really awkward spot for Ruben to put his rooftop tent up now.
Oh, that's going to suck.
You know, some people whinge about angles when, you know, he's not quite straight and he can't get that perfect night's sleep.
Really getting too much
Ruben is
further.
going to have a bit of a drama on his hands.
Yep.
And I don't think he can access his fridge either.
Well, all sorts of problems.
Bit of motivation to get it on its tyres.
As if we needed extra motivation, we're about to run out of daylight and the pressure is starting to pile on. But after a bit of a head scratch, we reckon we might have found a solution. And that's to move the Ultimate 9 winch up higher and keep the rear winch on the 79 a little slack and ready to catch the vehicle before it runs away.
Yeah, it's going. Go on.
Almost immediately, this is looking a lot more promising.
Keep it going. Keep going. Keep going.
Do you reckon that's going to come this way when it comes onto its wheels?
You're right, you're right. And we'll winch in on the front in a sec. You're right. Keep going. Now the front in, I reckon.
That was a little scary moment, though.
Yeah, boys. It was scary. It was sketchy as, but it worked.
Well done.
That's a go. That's a go. And that also is the most flexed 79 in Australia. Oh, we're going to earn a beer tonight.
The 79 might be a bit battered and bruised, but she's on her wheels again.
Mate, she's good. Look at that, door still opens.
Right, we'll get the rear winch on,
Yeah,
and you'll lower it down on the rear winch. We'll take this one off.
yeah.
You've no doubt heard us say, never celebrate early. We're not out of trouble quite yet.
So now Ruben's secured on the rear of his vehicle. Now, he doesn't want to start the car, of course, because all that oil, when it's sitting on the side, will be in the wrong places. So we just basically want to winch the car down to the flat, let it sit on the flat for a bit, rest, maybe half an hour, so like oil goes in the right spot. Then he should be able to drive out in his own steam. Then we can worry about recovering my vehicle, go to plan B, which is try and get it running rather than get it on the end of a strap. It's been a big afternoon. That's all right.
Ruben's front lockers are still engaged, and that makes lining up the front wheels a bit of a struggle. But it turns out things can get a whole lot worse.
That's it, yep. That's good. Gonna come down to that right. Watch out.
Terrifying.
Okay, stop there, stop there. Just
Stop there.
Put it in gear.
Yeah, hard this way, bro.
I reckon we were just inches from disaster there, because right in front of the 79 is a huge drop away off the track.
Straighten her up. Come down to me. Come to me.
Well, that was actually got pretty real pretty quick. The rear winch rope just snapped, and that was the only thing holding the vehicle in place. Ruben did some really handy work on the steering wheel, but it goes to show we take safety pretty serious here. I might be wearing thongs, but seriously, we get it out of the way when all recoveries are happening, and that's one of those examples. If we were in front of the vehicle, then it took off down the hill. Woo! It's pretty sketchy, but I'll tell you what, luckily we take recoveries pretty serious here.
The mirror's not even broken. Sell it tomorrow. One careful owner.
Oh, the roof rack got fed, but that's okay. How can the canopy still be in one piece? It was on the canopy.
I know, and we skull dragged it on the canopy.
Now look, I know you wanted to do some testing of your canopies, Ruben, but I've had enough. All right?
Have you tested the structural integrity from the roof down? You've only done the sides.
For goodness sake.
It did cop a little bit of brunt here, but to be honest, you copped more damage just driving lines in Tassie, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's actually quite remarkable. The roof rack's no good, but you're going to get that when you land on your lid.
Let's go drive some more tracks.
Let's go recover me.
Oh, I forgot about you.
Good as new.
Now, I mentioned that Jeremy is still of the opinion that low fuel might be at play with the 30. Well, while we've been rolling trucks, he's siphoned fuel out of the camera car and is inbound with 20 litres of diesel. Shauno, if this is all it was causing the 30's issues, well, mate, there's going to be some red faces. And suddenly, Sean seems to have remembered some vital information.
Because I have driven from home and whatever track we've done without fueling. The last time I fueled up was in the Kimberley. Yeah, it was a Kimberley.
So the last time you fueled this car up
Could have been the Kimberley.
was Kununurra. It wouldn't have even been Kununurra.
Yeah, it would have. Oh no, it would have been Darwin.
No.
Or somewhere on the way to Darwin. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Seems like people are judging me now. No need for judging right now. I think.
Let me just. The last time Shauno fueled up the Dirty 30 was when we did our Kununurra trip. And we're wondering whether or not he's run out of fuel.
It's pretty economical, this truck, until it runs out of fuel. There's no need to make fun of people in these situations. I think as a team we should just all get over this fact, and you should be actually stoked and honest.
How many beers? How many beers? For you folks at home that are watching along as to what we've just found out, what we just
Hang
discovered.
on, we haven't even got it started yet.
But if that is the case, how many beers is that? Put it in the comments down below. How many beers does Shauno owe us after all this?
I'll probably owe Ruben a couple.
I reckon you owe Ruben a couple, yes.
Can we not tell Ruben it was just a fuel pump? I'm going to say we did something massively mechanical.
Changed the fuel pump already.
Yeah, we made a diaphragm out of a gum leaf
Yep.
and got the thing going. I reckon it's-
Ruben rolled his car because you ran out of fuel.
There's no need to even. We don't need to pass this on. We'll just keep this between you and me. You and I are good mates. We'll just keep this one.
Okay. Us and I reckon this will get about 1 million views. So Ruben will ever find out.
We're just going to stop him from watching the show. That's all.
Shouldn't be easy. Yep.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Well, here we go. The moment of truth.
Please start. Please start. Please start. Come on, Stu. Wow, this is embarrassing. Let's forget this happened and move on. We've got to get a camp, guys. Ruben's a mess. We've got to comfort him.
Pick your winch up, put it away, put the jerry can in the back, and let's get out of here.
Well, I might go to a fuel stop before I go to camp, if that's all right with you. That's embarrassing, but I'm stoked to start it. Out of fuel.
I think that's a lesson, though, for a lot of people.
It is a lesson. Look, this is the lesson to take away from this. Never doubt a Toyota. User error, on the other hand. Well,
Doubt the driver. Doubt the driver.
that's a real thing.
And just like that, the 30's driving like a charm, and this little mystery might finally be solved.
See, look, I'm on the gauge. If I've got fuel on the gauge, I should have a solid 90 litres in there. But it might be that bottom 90 litres is not going to work on a hill.
Yeah, exactly. You've never done that before.
Yeah.
So how would you know? It's all well and good to have found a solution, but there's someone in particular that might not be all that impressed with how things have panned out. Shauno, mate, time to face the music.
I think it's safe to say the problem with the 30, we'll probably never know what happened. I think it's probably like a mix of like user error, machinery error, just electrical stuff.
That diaphragm lacquer's actually glued itself back together.
I think so.
Just had to have a rest for
I
a
think
bit.
so. Obviously, Graham and I did some pretty magical mechanical stuff to get it going. I don't even know if I could repeat what we did, to be honest.
He ran out of fuel. He's 100% run out of fuel.
Unbelievable.
Well, everyone's safe.
Yes.
And it's a joke for later, obviously.
It's all right.
I'll cook tonight.
I'll just roll my car.
How much do you reckon it's going to...
For you to
Well, it's a
run out of
rooftop
fuel.
tent, roof rack. I'm sure the canopy's going to have to be buffed out.
I don't know if I've got enough beers in the old.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. Quite expensive. It is.
Look, we'll never know who to blame, to be honest. So I reckon we just get up over this hill and see if we can't find a campsite, because
I reckon you should go to the bottle shop and get some fuel.
Well,
But not in that order.
I'd definitely go to the fuel station, just a coincidence really. And yeah, I might stop in the bottle shop on the way.
Yep, good call. You do that, mate. We'll get to camp.
Well, we haven't started this though.
Ah, yes.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah, kick her in the guts, mate.
Moment of truth.
The aerial's coming up. Look good.
Magical, it's actually running better, if anything. You guys can thank me later if you want.
You know why? Because he's got fuel in it! He puts fuel in it!
It really helps, eh?
Get in your car! Well, I reckon that's about enough excitement for one day. It's more than past time we make it to camp.
Look at that. Lifting wheels again. Easy.
A big shout out has to go to Jeremy for his expertise on this one. He's a diesel filtration guru who had a hunch of the problem from the start. I'm guessing Shauno owes him a beer or two tonight as well.
That was my first rollover, so there's one ticked off the bucket list.
Well, that was a wild experience. Having passengers in the car, putting it on its side. I think I deserve an Iron Jack tonight.
Luckily for the boys, we've got a camp spot lined up literally minutes from the track, overlooking the valley at Bluff Creek Campground. And we're soon rolling into camp with both fuel and some apology beers. Camp is soon springing up, and Ruben gets his first good look at the internals of the canopy after his roll.
Have a go at that. It's laid down on this side. I haven't even opened this yet. And look, yeah, a bit of stuff's moved around, but still all good.
Now, I reckon I owe the boys big time today, so I'm going to make it up to them with a fire and a good feed. And when they see the meal I've got in store for them tonight, I reckon all will be forgiven.
How good's this? It's got a bit of water on the boil. We're just starting to boil her up. I'm doing a bit of chicken pasta tonight. We're down here at Kenilworth, and the tracks have been tough, and the meal tonight's going to be even tougher, to be honest with you. I'm thinking I'm going to rename this one. It's just a normal chicken pasta, but I'm thinking about rollover chicken pasta, if you know what I'm talking about, because it's been a big trip. Oh yeah, thank you, mate.
That's your beer, by the way.
First time he's bought me a beer in a while.
No, that's yours.
Out of my fridge.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Nice one. What was this? Rollover chicken pasta?
Rollover chicken pasta.
In honour of?
It's like a normal chicken pasta, but
tastes like diesel.
That's exactly right. We're going to serve it on a lid. That's how we do that. No, I've got a bit of water on the boil. Obviously, the pasta's going in there. I'm actually going to I'm going to do a couple of little shortcuts, right?
You're going to do some shortcuts?
Believe it or not, because when you get to established like me, I've done a bit of cheffery before, and when you get to a certain stage, you can take a couple of shortcuts. So I'm boiling a bit of water.
I can see that bit you're doing well.
That is an easy step.
Yes.
Now the next part, I'm going to jump in here. Now, normally, a lot of people would go and sauce their chickens. They'd be raw, and they'd have to cut it, and they'd have to cook it, and all the rest of it.
That's how chickens usually work?
Not me. Now, if you're like me, you don't have the time to do the proper cooking, and you want to do it quickly, shortcut a couple of steps.
I get what you're saying here. You're a Toyota driver, you've got into camp late because you couldn't drive the track.
He broke down and maybe ran out of fuel. I don't know, but I do know that if you go into Woolies or Coles, they've got these barbecue chickens on the go. They're like,
they're bloody good.
They're all right, and there's so many things you can do with them. Normally you just chuck them in a roll and that'll do you, but not tonight. I'm making it a little bit more fancy than that.
Right.
A little bit gourmet if you ask me, mate. Check this out. So I'll grab Liberty, grab that.
Oh yeah, look at that bad boy. What are we doing with these chickens?
Well, we're gonna basically pull a bit of chicken, if you know what I mean.
Trust me when I say. What? So we're taking the meat off this and putting it in.
What have you done? Just ripped a big.
That's how I operate, baby.
Okay, you want to spread the drummies. This is it. You see, you ruined yours already. Look at mine. If you spread them open, because I want to get the stuffing out, obviously. So clean hand. I'm just gonna have to spread those right open.
We putting the meat in there?
Yeah, no bones though, if you can.
Yep. No, well, no bones about it, mate. Geez whiz, you're pretty quick.
I'm very efficient.
I'm still on the first leg.
Ah, you're taking your time.
Yep.
Not me, mate. I rush in.
I like to savour the opportunity.
A lot of skin. I'm actually not sure what to do with the skin.
Well,
so you get excess skin, get rid of it.
I don't have that problem. As a 70s child.
The water is now at a rolling boil. Before we chuck the pasta in, a bit of salt. You've got to have salt.
It's supposed to be as salty as the Andean Sea.
That's what I always say.
I don't even know if that's true. And you're supposed to throw the pasta at something to see if it sticks.
As salty as
that is not cooked.
As salty as your first ex-girlfriend. That's how salty it needs to be.
That is a salty bit of water. Holy heck.
All right, so we're going to put the pasta straight in.
Give it a stir, Captain.
That's
what's going on there?
That is not mine. I borrow them. We use that for the fire.
That'll be fine.
While that is doing that, I'm going to reach in the Mike Ullman for a second.
What are you getting?
We're going to pull this to the side.
Sure.
And the chicken skin, you can do what you like with that. Asparagus, a few peas.
Peas, yep. Mushy peas.
So first up, what we're going to do here.
Oh, crikey, watch yourself, mate. That's why you're going to wear safety glasses.
What we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends off, and we're going to basically cook the vegetables in the boiling pasta. Now this is the tricky bit. Takes a bit of time. You got to skin your peas. That's what you're after.
This is the difference between my culture and the culture today. When I grew up, that little hairy bit, you left it on. These days, they take the hairy bit off. How are you going to drain it?
This is, I'm not sure yet, but this is why this meal is such a good meal.
Well, it's super simple.
It's super simple.
But it's healthy.
And it's really cheap. It is quite healthy as well, to be honest with you. And when you've just done a big day on the tracks and you just want a quick camp meal that's going to go the distance, this is the one to do. All right, mate, that is looking hot. I'm going to turn that right down. Now, the pasta's done, the veggies are done at the same time.
Yes.
Sort of stagger them off a little bit. Now, I need to try and work out how to drain the water.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I forgot how to...
Well, you need some gloves. You got gloves?
If you had Is it a colander? Is it the one?
Colander?
What I'm going to have to do,
Oh, I don't want to be a
unfortunately.
part of this. Why have we always got to do this? I've got to bend over you and I've got to...
And look, this is a hold in it, so if we drop this,
I don't want to be a part of this.
you have to be.
What am I going to do, hold this?
Yeah, it's got to go
Oh,
over the top.
don't go near
Drain
me.
it. Well, I can't drain it where I'm standing. You can't. No, you got to...
I don't want to.
Like, you got to make the smallest gap, so like...
Whoa!
The pasta can't get out. I'm going to drop it. It's really hot.
Okay. Go down. Use your core strength. Stop being such a... Okay, go. Yep.
You got to drain it really well because asparagus juice
Go
is
back
not-
up. Go back up.
You don't want to be eating asparagus juice. Just be careful because if
I
we
know,
lose
I know.
this,
I know,
like,
it's all over.
I've never actually lost a meal before.
I know. We're nearly there.
Not a proper rollover.
Wait.
You're on the side. You're doing a Reuben right now.
Wait. But Reuben came back from this. Okay, and attach winch rope.
Hang on, just wait. Make sure all the water's out.
Ah! It's steamy!
Unbelievable. That's how you do that.
Yeah, train chefs. On your foot.
I'm sure they do this at the big kitchens, to be honest. I'm going to put some chicken in now, all the chicken.
Yep.
You don't have to use all the ingredients. To be honest, that's too much. We'll put them back. Put them back in there. We don't need them. We don't need them.
What goes on top of that?
Well, now we're basically doing the condiments, the sauces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can do this any which way, to be honest. I've got a couple of the sauces I want to try. This one here is the old... this is
Smoked Tabasco?
Yeah. So you don't want to go crazy on this, obviously. You just want to...
Well, it's a lot of people we've got to get through.
Actually, it's quite a big thing, so... I find sometimes when you do the slow jerks, it works a little bit better.
Not for me, Tiger. I like to get that out of there as quick as I can.
Okay, this is a little secret here, right?
You've used...
Fair bit. So we're going to use, this is the lemon herb peri-peri sauce. Lemon herb, peri-peri and lemon herb. So you could make your own, but when you're camping, sometimes you just want ease.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. You put the whole lot.
No, just about 200 mils.
A 250 ml container. You might as well just use a whole bloody lot, mate.
260, mate.
So sorry, let's not quibble over 10 mil. I never have.
Salt and pepper, always. There you go, that's a ticket.
Hang on, I can't.
I'll go above you.
Yeah, go for it. It's not hardly any going in.
All right.
So lads,
Yeah, mate.
You're spicing her up, mate.
absolutely. So I see you've got some other condiments.
Yep.
What's this one?
I don't know. I reckon that one's doesn't have enough go.
Well, you've tasted it?
We've got the old Carolina Reaper here.
Oh, Reuben.
Ah, that would be silly. You wouldn't want to put that in, obviously, because that would ruin it. How much of that? How hot is that, firstly?
Oh, it's not that hot.
Have a bit then.
Reuben, don't do that. I know you very well.
Yeah, some. It's really tasty.
Is it?
Is it okay?
good.
Is it not too bad?
Very, very good.
Oh, I don't want to miss it. That's a fair bit.
Holy shizen.
Very, very yummy. Well, I'll leave you guys to do that.
Put too much in. Obviously, the spice is up to your personal preference.
Ah, shivers.
You just try not to burn your esophagus while you're at it. I'm just going to stir that up.
Yeah, stir it really good.
Make sure that's all
Oh,
taken care of. It's not even that hot, boys. This is a nice little
you go,
mild
mate.
one. I call this one the rollover chicken pasta. For good reason too.
I dare not roll over. I'll have an accident.
That is the normal chicken pasta. Reuben, give us your plate, mate. I'm going to put yours upside down. It might be a bit easier for you to deal with. You're a bit used to it like that.
Pick up the bits and pieces.
Yeah, you should do, yeah.
I want to say that is unbelievable.
It actually has a lot of taste, doesn't it?
It's a beautiful little smell if you really get into it. Unbelievable. I reckon we sit by the fire and really just really enjoy this because we've got a couple of big tracks to do tomorrow as
Something
well.
tells me I'm going to enjoy this 2 or 3 times. Once tonight, a couple of times tomorrow.
It's a nice cheap meal as well.
It is.
Real simple ingredients.
And healthy.
And easy to cook.
Yeah,
super
totally.
easy.
Totally.
I mean, if
Just-
I can do it, definitely you can do it. So,
But folks, just go easy on the chili.
I
Really.
know, there's a bit going on here.
There's been a bit going on, all right? Cheers, folks.
How good's that?
It is. It's nice. It tastes good. Hope you're enjoying the episode, folks. Now, look,
In the shed here, I've got a brand spanking new Runva winch that I want to give away. I was trying to think of who's the most deserving person out there to give a winch to. Then I cottoned onto an idea. I want to see your biggest fails. I want to see when you have totally cooked it. I mean, have you ever, I don't know, run out of fuel and caused your mate to roll over as a consequence? Put your kook moments in the comments down below. I'm going to go through them. The best kook moment, the best fail, is going to win themselves a brand new Runva winch. Now, in other news, 18th to the 20th of March, Australia, we are getting back on board and the Brizzy 4-Wheel Drive show is on, finally. Sean and I are going to be there all 3 days. Come on down and say g'day to us. We've got our rigs down there. It's a huge show. Now, back in the olden days, you could get your tickets by walking up to the door and saying, hey, can I have a ticket? They'd give you one if you gave them some cash. Now, the only way to get your tickets is online. So if you're going to buy your tickets online, you may as well use the code 4WD247. That means you're going to get the day you want and the time slot you want, but more importantly, you're also going to save yourself some money. Brizzy Show, 18th to the 20th. We'll see you there, but for now, let's head back to Kenilworth. You couldn't ask for a better day for wheeling in this stunning little corner of the world, and we've got another big day lined up ahead in the hills above Kenilworth.
Bluff Creek Campground is one of the few great private property camping options in the region, and well worth a look if you're after a base to explore the area. But speaking of adventures, I reckon Ruben will be hoping for just a little less excitement today.
Well, this is just incredible. I just want to show you guys around the canopy. Obviously yesterday, Ruben did park on his side for a fair bit, and I was a bit worried that, you know, he's running an alloy tray and canopy, that the damage would be very, very significant. But we were actually surprised on how little damage the vehicle got, in particular tray and canopy. Now you can see here where it's laid over. There's dirt all over it. He's taken some of the paint off as well. The canopy copped a lot of the brunt of this rollover, yet it is still not just functional, but it's still 100% fine. You take the dirt off that and it might have a few scratches, but I just think that's amazing and real testimony to the R&D that goes on behind the scenes at DMW. They make a really quality product. I mean, it's a pretty insane way to go and test your gear, but I don't suggest he does it again. But you know, the fact they can handle this sort of treatment gives me a lot of confidence. I've run the same tray and canopy on the Dirty 30 and the Big 200 series. The fact that they're lightweight but super, super tough, well, that's a real credit to the DMW and the team.
Now I reckon we'd all be happier keeping our Forbies the right way up today. But the tracks we've got planned are definitely going to test us. And I've got a feeling there's going to be some hectic drives ahead. Our tracks for today are just a stone's throw from camp, and soon enough, we're ready to get into it.
Alrighty. Beauty of a place like Kenilworth, of course. You can leave all your stuff here, a bit of a base camp, if you will. I've left my swag and chair down there, and we've left the fire pit over here. A couple of swags down here. Come back to them tonight. We're all set up, we're good to go. Don't have to do a thing. So you can be back out on the tracks. I mean, it's literally 7:30 in the morning, and we're about to hit the tracks again straight away. Fantastic.
The track I'm taking the boys to today is locally known as the Armchair Track. And let me tell you, this is not one for the faint-hearted.
All the tracks around here are steep, but this one is pretty next level. Full of intense angles, shaly rock and big step-ups.
I reckon we're going to see our fair share of wheel lifts and white knuckle moments. But before we even get to the start of the track, some more mechanical dramas have hit the convoy. Jeremy has been noticing some pretty wild sounds coming from the undercarriage of his rig, and a quick inspection shows that the rear diff has been leaking fluid.
Stop there for a sec.
Well, they're trying to find a noise, and it's definitely in the drivetrain somewhere. It seems to be coming from the front left, so maybe CV, you know, it could be maybe front drive shaft. CV. Look, I've got a spare.
Well, we pinpointed the source of the noise. CV. Don't know when he did it, but spare one. In there, back on the tracks, matter of minutes. Crack team of mechanics we've got here, except him.
And Graham.
One thing we've always said is carry spares for your rig, even if you don't know how to change them yourself.
Look at that. Big old floppy boy.
In this case, Jeremy's got both the parts he needs and the knowledge to install them, and with Ruben's help, the CV is out in no time.
Well, that was fairly painless, to be fair. It's good to always carry a bit of a pit crew with you when you're out on the tracks. Broken CV out, new CV in. Big hill coming up.
On top of replacing the CV, Jeremy's also gone and topped up the rear diff with fluid. We'll keep an eye on it across the day, but for now, we're back on the move.
Here's a fun fact for you. This model D-Max we've currently got right now, never, touch wood of course, never have we done a CV on this vehicle, not one. Now, I attribute that to a couple of factors. Good driving? No, but seriously, a couple of factors, and I think one of the big factors is the way in which the Fulcrum boys have got the suspension sorted out on this current vehicle. Diff drop kit in there, everything just lines up. Those CVs are never really on a really terribly drastic angle at any one time. I think that really does play a huge role. Get your suspension set up right, gee whiz, the difference it makes, it's chalk and cheese.
Soon enough, we're at the start of the track, and the closer you get, the steeper it seems to become. And if you want an idea of just how serious this is, our resident Queenslander here has taken the drastic measure of swapping the pluggers out for boots.
I think you're right, I think coming up through here is the go.
Get your line wrong on big straight climbs like this can lead to disaster. And the old GU camera car up the front shows just how sketchy things can get if you lose momentum.
Hey Sean, how are you feeling? You a bit scared in the old undies there, mate?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. Every time I sit there looking at a hill, it just grows and grows and grows as you sort of nudge up to it. And I'm just contemplating left or right line. And I haven't really made my mind up yet. It's always a bit exciting driving your pride and joy up a big hill.
Sean has put a lot of love into that build, and I don't blame him for being a bit cautious.
Wow, it's steep. It's really steep.
Big crawly boy.
Steep.
This trip really is the first time I've got to experience a 30 capability on technical tracks. And I've got to say, I'm loving the control of the auto and the torque of the engine. Momentum is still key here, and backing off is just not an option.
There's a wheel lift. Probably not the greatest of lines, but got the job done.
Oh yeah. That was a good drive, but that lifted a wheel a lot higher than I thought it was going to do, so that has made me so nervous about what I'm going to be doing in the 79.
I think I'm going to try and follow that line. I think IFS, I'm a bit low, I'm not making excuses, I've just got to take all these things into account. I think I'm going to follow that exact line. Try and cross over and then just slowly commit to the crawl up, then turn right. See you at the top.
All right, Graham, good luck, mate. I'll be here for moral support, and hopefully I'll be able to high-five you on your way up.
Thank you, thank you. Here we go, ground control to Major Tom.
That's the go. Nice and crawly, look at it go.
The D-Max never ceases to surprise us with its capability, but Graham is about to put in a drive that's hard to beat.
A little mountain go. That's a ticket, keep driving it. Leave it. That's it. Well done.
That's hectic.
I want to say that's probably the best drive I've ever seen Graham do. No joke.
I'm constantly amazed at what this thing can do. It shouldn't do that. It shouldn't do that.
Yes, he's stoked and he should be. That is an insane drive. He wheeled that perfectly.
Big trucks? Oh, you got a big truck, have you? Oh, that's cute. See what the little trucks can do. A little bit nervous after yesterday, having a bit of a lay down. This one's a bit off camber. I'm going to be lifting wheels a lot. May as well just, when you fall off the bike, you got to get back on, eh? To be fair, I'm more nervous to watch Ruben than I was to drive it.
I might go get the recovery gear out now. The only reason I say that is because you had a very decent wheel lift, like sort of that high.
Yeah, felt it, yeah.
79 will be touching the side mirrors on the dirt when it lifts through here.
Yeah.
And I know Ruben, he doesn't back off.
Just in case. Righto, give it a red hot shot. Oh no, he's on the limiter.
I don't want to watch actually. I'm nervous.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Not too much. Dig it, dig it.
Beautiful.
Oh, double wheel in the air.
Oh yeah, baby, we're back! We're back! Yeah! Woo!
Wow.
I'm not going to say it's pretty to watch, but
Effective though.
I'll tell you what, I'm a little bit flustered.
I was actually quite nervous for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
He did that really well.
Yeah! Yes! Yes! Like I said, fall off a bike, you just got to get back on, and if in doubt, rev it out.
I don't like either one of those rules.
This looks far more daunting from the driver's seat.
I reckon if we hadn't changed that CV out right now, this would be the hill to finish her off once and for all.
Now it turns out Jeremy's not just a gun on the tools, he's also pretty handy on the wheel, and he's nailed this line so far.
I did that right.
Beautifully done,
What
mate.
hill?
Beautifully done.
Whoa!
Holy sugar.
What was that?
That was a
Crank, unload.
I think so.
Jeepers, what was that?
There we go, that was interesting.
Weird. We might have checked that out.
First up though, let's see how Bryce fares up this one.
Right, boys, let's give it a crack.
That's it.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Yep.
Bold move.
Going that way. Lovely.
That's a good drive.
That's a good drive.
Great drive.
Well done, mate. Well
Great
done.
drive. Well done. Totally different line to everyone else. Just committed, drove up the hill.
That's unreal. That's absolutely unreal.
Well, that's every vehicle up except, of course, the big Nissan, the Ultimate 9 truck. Now, we're using that as a camera car at the moment, but I want to give it a drive.
You're going to drive up?
Yeah, I'm going to drive it because it's a stupidly capable vehicle. Pete's obviously a good driver, but I want to really establish if it's the vehicle or Pete that makes that Ultimate 9 truck sing.
I feel like I need like a little clipboard so I can take notes.
Yeah, well, I might need some hand, mate. I've never really driven a Nissan too much.
Now, pressing question.
Okay, that worked.
Before we get going, it's got aircon. What are you going to set the Ultimate 9 throttle controller to?
That's a good question. What would Pete do?
What would Pete do?
What would Pete do? Probably Economy 4.
Economy 4, it's been said. You'll get the feel for it. Whoa!
It's a lanyard.
See, Pete wouldn't do that!
You never have too long a lanyards. That's first
That's
tip.
one mark against you. Pete doesn't get spooked.
Pete, if you are watching this show, I suggest you tune out now for the next about
Pete.
3.5 minutes. It's got some power actually.
It does, yes it does.
Which line do you want me to take?
Oh, look, I don't mind.
I could go left or right.
Oh,
I better choose one real soon.
I was
though.
going to say, pick a line and stick with it. Oh, what a hill.
Oh, this is too
It's
easy.
too easy, isn't it?
I didn't even lift the wheel.
No, that's ridiculous.
This is... Sorry, Pete. This vehicle
Pete.
is ridiculously capable. I didn't even lift the wheel.
Oh,
And trust me, I was trying to.
As the official adjudicator, Pete, I love you like a brother. You're one of the nicest blokes I know. You're a gentleman. But mate, seriously,
If I can make it look that easy, and trust me, I don't make tracks look easy.
this vehicle is a weapon.
It is a beast.
Weapon.
And just damping that throttle.
On the way up.
I know, on the way out I was like, no, actually that's a little bit too speedy for me. And
Yeah,
I just
dial
ripped
it
it down, dial it down, and that was the best controlled drive I've probably ever done.
That's why you get them.
That is, I've never seen Sean drive that well in my entire life. So that patrol is off tap.
I could have driven any of the lines I wanted to on that
Could have
hill.
closed your eyes and just pointed the car up the hill.
All right, you didn't have to help me try and change gears on the way up though.
Gee whiz, I tell you what, the stubby lever, it's a lot smaller than mine. But we got up here.
With everyone up, it's time to check out that issue with Jeremy's rig.
Well, we heard a noise on the hill. I think you folks at home probably would have heard it too because it was quite a definitive sound. And it is?
It is a uni joint.
100%.
So just stuck my head underneath there and just poke around. I thought it might have been a mud flap bouncing off the wall, but
It was not a mud flat bouncing off the wall, mate.
I was hoping.
No.
But no, it's broken one of the ears off the uni joint, so get out underneath there and rip it out, and so second repair for the day.
Now, I'm no mechanic. Might surprise you to hear this. But this is not an easy repair.
It's not the hardest, but it's not the easiest, that's for sure.
We'll put it in the middle. Righto? No time like the present. I'll get a drink of cold water, you get stuck into it.
Sounds like a plan.
The damaged uni is soon out, and once again Jeremy's got the spares on hand to get the job done. But of course, trackside fixes are never as straightforward as you'd like, and the guys are having a little trouble getting the uni back in cleanly. Still, I reckon there's no better time to get your shaft out than when you're among friends, and so the guys have removed the whole tail shaft to make access easier.
We've gone to plan B, pull the whole thing out, because in that incident, the actual tail shaft here has got a little bit of a kick in it. So trying to do it under the car, it's making everything a bit skew with. So pull it out, we're going to do it the other way on the back of the ute here, and hopefully we've got a bit more control and get this sorted.
Hopefully we haven't done too much damage, but I'll probably need to replace the drive shaft when I get back to civilization again. So yeah, get cleaned up and get back on the track.
Now, the first part of this track is pretty challenging in itself, but it turns out that was only an intro to what's in store. Up ahead, the track is climbing again, and this time, oh heck, the climb is massive.
There's another big hill, mate.
Yeah, look at the size of
And
it.
it just
goes
keeps
forever.
going. This reminds me of the high country. Just big off-cambered rocks
Yeah.
and ruts, and it just goes. Shaly country.
I think I've picked about 12 different lines.
Yeah.
I've yet to commit to one. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I've changed my mind a few times.
Yep.
We'll give it a go. I might take it in stages.
Yeah.
Sort of get past this bit. Might be able to stop up there and have another go. Fingers crossed.
I'll get all of them toes
Wish
as
me
well.
luck.
All right, here we go. This is a hill of consequence.
This is a proper big boy hill. I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 5 and 6 major obstacles on this hill as you go up it. Probably the biggest is this one down here at the beginning. But the thing at the top is, if you get the straddle wrong right at the very, very top, very scary moment. Very scary moment. And this is where it begins. Got a pretty tough sort of start to it, this track. Straight up the guts.
I tell you what, this 30, she's proven to be a bit of a rig.
Up we go.
Yeah, that was well done.
Up we go. How easy is that?
Crawley boy. I think that's a perfect line. You've just got to be over that right-hand driver's side quite a bit.
Won't lie to you, still gives me the willies. Even though I've got a very capable vehicle, it's just so steep. And I always just freak out a little bit. I think that's part of four-wheel driving.
He just drove straight up the rut, which was not what I was planning on doing.
That is a seriously cool hill. Just really steep and really technical too. You got to sort of pick your right line. There's big ruts and stuff, and it's off cambered. You just got to zigzag your way up until you find a bit of traction, and always try and keep those tyres on the high spots, and that way you don't drop into a hole and lift a big wheel. That was a good drive. I'm sweating a little bit more than normal though.
Whew. All right.
Righto, Graham, how you feeling, big fella?
Mate, we're going to do a crawly, boy, and see how we go.
If that last drive was anything to judge by it, you have got this.
All right, let's give it a go, shall we?
So far, so good, mate. That's it. That's it. Yep, that's off there. Yep, perfect line. Yep, a little bit. Yep. That's you. And a little bit to me. Almost.
That was scary.
This is the line here where you want to come up, but go back so your rear needs to follow, obviously, your front. Straight right, straight right. Yep. That's you. That's you. That's you. Just go back a bit, and you might just need to use a little bit more rolling momentum. So it's a different line. I thought you had that for a sec.
I think I might have cooped this one.
Yeah, you just went from driving one of the better lines I've ever seen you drive in 15 years to all of this. Here you go. Yep, coming away. Yep, perfect. I still think you maintain this line here. You drive up this, just keeping just straight up there. And if you just have a little bit of rolling momentum so the rear comes up, I think you'll drive it. No. Yeah, you got it. Drive it. That's a ticket. It was just 1 inch over. Hang on, we go spot him again.
I've fallen in me hole.
Yep. Hang on, we'll let him go rogue.
The problem with these hills is, once you lose your initial momentum, you start to find yourself in awkward positions, and getting rolling again becomes a whole lot harder.
Now you're on the perfect sort of line, just see if you can just wheel it. Yep, it's right, Yep.
Had to drive it.
That's a ticket. You just drove that like an absolute boss. Wheel lift, didn't care, just drove through it. That's a drive. It's getting that right line though, it's everything. Well done, mate. You're on your own now.
Speaking of momentum, I've had to pull up while the camera boys jump up ahead. And as I go to take off again, I've slipped into the ruts and gotten hung up.
You just got a big rock under you.
Does not want to do it. Now, we've mentioned already how shaly these tracks are, and the D-Max is just slipping on the rocks and going nowhere. Wow, what is happening? We try slipping in some max tracks to make a ramp, but in the end, this hill has gotten the better of us, and it's out with the Runva.
So we found that the problem, it didn't look like there was anything particularly holding back, but as soon as he moved, you could tell that the rear diff was actually on the middle of that rut, so it was just dragging his pumpkin the whole way through. That's why he lost the momentum.
After winching myself back onto a better line, I'm able to get rolling again, and this time, it looks like we could be in for a clear run to the top. Whoa, that felt sketchy. That was awesome. It was all up the hill. That was bad. Shake myself. Ruben79 seems to be allergic to being on all four wheels, and he's lifting wheel after wheel on the way up this climb.
Yeah, good drive.
That's you. Perfect drive, mate. Perfect drive.
Oh, wheel lift.
Yeah, little wheel lift. One for the boys.
Well done.
Woo. Good drive, Jeremy. Good drive, mate.
Everyone goes, oh, that was a really good drive. And it's like, it didn't feel like it was a good drive from the seat.
We've got one more rig to get through, and Bryce has got his game face on as he punts up the climb.
He's got it. Very close, mate. That was a great line, though. Oh, that was close. Your rear's going in the hole a little bit. If you were up the bank a bit more, you'll have this. Bit of right hand down, bit more right hand down, more right hand down. And straighten up, straighten up, straighten up.
Whoa! The other gear!
Oh, Bryce did the old after race mode.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Take 3.
Up the bank a bit, up the bank.
Bugger.
This won't climb it, will it?
No.
Might have to have a winch.
Now, usually getting the winch out is a way to avoid the wheel lifts getting even bigger, but not today. And Bryce is picking up a huge one as he climbs out of trouble.
Soon enough though, he's over the rock step and on to the final challenges in style. And with that, this track is done and dusted.
Well, that turned into a... That's a... Look at that thing.
I know, it's so nice to all be at the top here.
It is actually, it's quite lovely.
The Kenilworth Imbil region is one of those spots where you can discover something new to drive every time you come out here. We've had a cracking couple of days wheeling just a fraction of what's on offer out here. For now though, I reckon it's time to make tracks for camp and a few icy cold brewskis. Soon enough, camp is in view and the fridges are sliding out. This has been one heck of a trip, and another night under canvas is the perfect way to round it off.
Well, boys, big cheers, because I reckon
Cheers
this
to
trip has been one of the ones I'll remember for a long time. Thanks to this champion right here. I mean, I'll roll over Ruben.
Well, I don't know, mate. I think you've got a lot to answer for
Well,
yourself.
we're not talking about me right now, mate. I just think we've had such a great time on these tracks. I mean,
We have?
They've been fantastic. There's been, you know, very little mechanical dramas.
Have you got his address, postal? Because you're going to need to send him a bill about that long for the damages ensued.
Look, we can sit around and point fingers all day, but I think we can all agree that was just a trip of a lifetime.
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
To go
Thoroughly
up into
enjoyed.
these hills behind Kenilworth here and
this place is
have
on
a go. It's just really cool, fun tracks.
Incredible place, folks. If you get a chance, head out to Kenilworth and you can head north to Imbil. You can go to Ammermoor.
Yep.
This whole stretch through here is just littered with tough tracks.
And some really good camping too.
Some fantastic camping, and the great thing about it is that there are fuel stations dotted all up and down the East Coast, so you can fuel up wherever you need to.
Yeah, you can.
You don't get your mates to lay down for you. That's the basics. For now, though, I'm going to sit back, have a quiet beverage, kick a bit more wood on that fire, and I'm going to say here's cheers to Ruben.
Yeah, cheers, cheers, boys.
Cheers, buddy.
Coming up, folks, is all the laughs of the four-wheel drive 24/7 outtakes. But first, let's check on some of the gear we use on a trip just like this.
Well, I think you'll agree, mate, for a number of reasons. This has been a trip that you won't forget very quickly.
Absolutely, mate. And look, I love taking the big Dirty 30. This is the hardest trip I've done so far.
Oh, in this car, yeah,
in
it
this
is.
vehicle. And
It
I'm
is.
pretty impressed. There's a few little teething issues, obviously,
There
but
are.
like putting fuel in, it's one of them.
One of the biggest ones.
There's a few others as well. So I'm stoked I've got to take it out
Agreed.
and really put it to the test, mate.
Agreed. Well, this is the part of the show we go through some of the gear that we've used on this trip. That's allowed us to do this trip, to be fair, and one of them, I don't know, I'm no expert, mate, when it comes to mechanics, you might know that, but one thing you desperately need when it comes to four-wheel drives are tyres.
That helps.
You've got to have them. You really do. They've got to be round, they've got to be black, they've got to be full of air. They've also got to be able to get you up sketchy climbs without letting you down. I've been running the Bridgestone MTs across the D-Max, across all my patrols back home. Never let me down. They've got good longevity and they just work, mate.
Well, mate, you definitely need to mount your rubber on some wheels. And
Yes.
actually, I get asked all the time what sort of wheels I'm running on the old Dirty 30 here. Now, these ones here are Dirty Life. Now, Dynamic Wheels is the company that has a huge range. They import Dirty Life from the US. They've got a whole stack from Steely's right through to fancy alloys, beadlocks, you name it. They've got one of the widest range of wheels. That's why we love them so much. They all look good, they're all different, and I reckon they work an absolute treat as well.
Speaking of working a treat, something we shared between us, of course, is TJM bar work. You should see the size of the compressor he's got under the bonnet. It's an absolute
I've got the brand new twin compressor TJM, and you know, not just pumping tyres up, but as you saw on this trip, we used it down to get a bit of pressure to the fuel tank to pump that last little bit of diesel I had hidden down in my tank up into the fuel pump.
And then of course there's the bar work. I just reckon the new bar work on these trucks looks fat.
Yeah,
look at that.
It does look good. I've got it on the 200 series.
Yep.
And it looks good, but also really functional.
Really is. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we have. I think you can see just how much fun we did have on this trip. I hope this guy features a lot in the outtakes because he deserves it on this one.
I'll be a few little elements from the cooking scene last night, but anyway, enjoy.
We'll catch you next time. I've got to turn the car on. You got to turn the car on. Sorry, folks at home. Real big tip. How you going, Shuey? We're going for a little bit of a how you going, how you going, how you going. See you later.
Every time I do one run up a hill, I'm allowed 6 beers.
I've got nothing to say to you, you electronic box. Constantly at my face. It's what is going on back here? It's in the back. That's right, back up. I said back up. Yeah, you know what's good for you.
Ooh, that's better. I can see 3 hills now. Whoa! That was the sickest thing I've ever seen. Throws it at a driving vehicle. What's wrong with him?
Was this your new camera?
Brand new.
Brand new.
I think bought it 3 days ago.
3 days ago. I'm sorry, Shuey.
Get into it, you bloody. Let's get into it.
Whose idea was that? Was that?
It wasn't my idea.
That's really hot, that is.
I can't even see you. My lips are... It's just sucking a lot of air.
Can I borrow that for a second?
Trust me when I say, this is cheap, it's easy, and it's a delicious meal.
It'll go right through you.
It'll go through you like a dose of the salt. Oh boy.
That's like knife, isn't it?
Keep the dunny paper handy.